This is Caffeine and Coils, and I'm Deanna.
And I'm Jenny.
And we have a special guest back with us today. Do you want to reintroduce yourself?
I'm Bob Prentice, the Indoor Air Quality Specialist for Mingledorf's.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, good to be here.
Good to have you back. So I know the first few episodes that we recorded with you, we were talking all about COVID. COVID was fresh in everyone's mind. Now that that's kind of settled, how have customers' priorities shifted? Are they still asking for air purification, or has attention moved to something else?
They're still asking. I think that there's a lot of them that have taken the time to understand it and are asking a lot more questions, and they're using the information to do a better job of selling to the consumer. And I think the consumer has gotten a little more educated as well. In the beginning, it was, give me anything that'll kill this because I'm scared it's going to get me, so there was all kinds of different products coming up, and people were just taking what they could get and getting it done. But I think now it's far more educated.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Yep.
What would you say, what IAQ products have stayed strong versus which ones were more of just like a pandemic era?
Ionization has stayed very strong. UV was big because it was what everything was at the time. There was some type of a UV bulb and everything. I think that has gotten more refined. UV is something that we can actually measure the results from. It takes so much UV to wipe out a certain type of a virus or a mold, so it's been around 100 years. We have a really good idea of what it can do and what it can't do. So I think that there was a lot of the one-hit wonders, put this in your return and it's going to do everything you need. Don't worry about it. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's kind of gone away. I think people they understand that ventilation's important and filtration's important. So there's a lot of information that's come out of this that is working to make it easier for people to understand, I think.
Yeah, I think it's allowed, as things have kind of settled with COVID, it's kind of allowed for that additional testing to happen too, and for people to really analyze like what's happening when they do certain things, or they use the ionization versus the UV bulb and that kind of stuff.
Right.
I have a kind of a piggyback question to ask on that. It might be silly, but with UV, does it have to be exposed to certain bacteria and things for like a certain period of time before it can kill it?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a contact time, a time that some people will ask about, can you kill everything in the air? And you can with UV. You can do what they call single pass disinfection, but it takes a certain amount of contact time with the light and a certain rate of airflow across it. So you have to know all of that in order to get the right amount together. But I did have somebody ask me one time, I'm sitting in an Outback restaurant and I'm in this booth over here, and the guy in that booth over on the other side is hacking away, and the return duct is picking it up and spewing it back out across the restaurant. How can I make sure that it doesn't happen? There is a way to figure that formula and put enough UV in to pretty much assure yourself that you'll get a single pass disinfection on it.
But you have to know the science to it, is what you're saying.
And you have to have the money to do it.
Yeah. Okay, from that comment, it sounds expensive.
Never mind then.
Yeah.
Well, what have you noticed about commercial versus residential adoption over the past few years? And who's really driving that conversation? Is it us? Is it the contractors? Is it the homeowners?
I think commercial has gotten more of, it's more what is being spec'd. Okay, I don't know that there's anybody that said, oh, we're going to save the world and put this in every commercial building. I think it's more of the engineers that are driving that kind of, and code's changing on that as well. So as far as residential goes, I think it's definitely has to be us educating the contractors and helping them understand how to educate the consumer, that of what it is that they need. I think that's definitely where that needs to go.
I like that. Where would you say that code is changing for IAQ? Because I haven't heard that, but something about me just thinks that that's like a California thing. Like I feel like they're usually the early adopters on some of that stuff.
No, code's changing all around, but what's happening, code just changed in Georgia, and code's changed in Alabama. Some of it gets kicked down a little bit. The code happens and everybody gets all nervous that it's going to make these major changes, and then they say, well, but we're going to push it off for a year before we enforce it.
Yeah.
You know, what they're looking at is there's a new product that GP has out right now that can actually monitor the air. It takes samples of the air that's in the room, and then it will adjust how it's functioning in order to correct things it finds in the air. So that's where we're going with commercial. Residential, it's more about fresh air, makeup air coming into the house, ventilation. Remember back, I think it was back maybe the first time we did one of these, we were talking about dilution is the solution to your pollution.
Yeah.
And that's what the ventilation is all about. If you get enough ventilation air in there and you mix it up, your chances of something staying in the house too long and causing you an issue are a lot less.
I have never forgotten that little iteration that you told me. So anytime anybody in my house is sick, it's like, okay, open all the windows,
Yep.
open the windows, open the doors. So.
Well, what you need to do is take your smart thermostat and turn it to ventilation and
Yeah.
purge the house. That would be
Yeah.
an easier way to do it. But that's where we're moving, is to that type of a thing.
Speaking of which,
Uh-huh.
my next question for you was, with connected homes and smart thermostats, how do you see IAQ devices changing with that in the future?
I think they're already changing now, but I think in the future they're going to drive how your system functions, especially the smart stats that can monitor what's going on in the air, like VOCs, particulate. They'll be able to adjust what they're doing in order to make sure that that's under control. And I've got a system in my house right now that basically does that. It takes care of humidification, dehumidification, ventilation, filtration. So it's all there.
I bet you have everything, don't you? You have it all set up.
I do.
I bet that is some high quality
I bet you go
air.
into I bet you go into Bob's house and you're like,
Just healing.
so fresh.
Yeah, you know how some of the portable air cleaners have a visual indicator of how the air is. It'll go from blue being the cleanest to red being the dirtiest. Well, my wife wanted one because she just felt like we needed one. And I put it in the house, and the thing has never gone off of blue the entire time we've had it in there.
Have you ever
So-
tried to set it off, like with a candle or something?
Well, we've talked about those
Yeah.
too. I mean, that's the one thing that it just irritates her. She'll go around the house in the morning spraying a little bit of the poofy stuff in the air, and within minutes it's gone.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if she has like gotten off the fragrance train or no, she's still on it.
Still doing it. Still
You
doing
So
know-
I'll have my few seconds of fresh linen.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep continuing to read how bad. I think I sent you something the other day on wax cubes or like
Yeah.
it was on the internet, so who knows the validity of it, but it was talking about how burning the wax cubes in the wax warmer is like just as bad as a diesel engine, like the fumes from it. And I'm like, oh wow, I wonder if this is true. But it was enough to scare me and make me turn the wax warmers off.
Well, we had a pumpkin candle on the counter in the kitchen, and when she would light that up, she would open the window, knowing that I would say something about it. So,
Oh, that's funny.
yeah.
All right, so during our last talk, we mentioned how hard it would be for techs to explain IAQ to customers without sounding salesy. What's working now when it comes to building trust and simplifying that conversation?
I think, again, that the homeowner's a little better educated, and I think that the sales service tech has a little more time to talk about it now. It's not as crazy, you got to have something kind of thing. And there's a lot of monitoring now that you can just instantly see what's going on in somebody's air quality, within minutes of being in the house, 30 minutes or less. And I think that's a really important thing.
And I think having the reduced anxiety of COVID kind of being less scary than when it was initially, it came into our lives, definitely helps
Yeah.
that conversation take a different tone and a different aspect to it. So I'm sure that helps too.
Yeah.
So, speaking of education, do you think that contractors are getting better training and resources from manufacturers and distributors on IAQ, or do you think there's still a knowledge gap?
I think there's still a knowledge gap, but I think, I know we are definitely doing something about it. And we're looking to our vendor partners to come in and not only teach the distributor salespeople about the product, but to give us education on a tech level, where a service tech can go in and he can speak to these products and have, the knowledge that of what's going on. And it takes a lot. You have to be able to give them the options. So when they find, particulate in the air, what do you use? What do you recommend? If you find, VOCs in the air, what do you do? Humidification, dehumidification. There's a lot of that still to some techs it's mystery because they just know how to fix it and they know how to install it, but they really don't have the time in a lot of cases to go back and understand how that soup mixes in the whole house, So I think it's really our job to make sure that they get that information, that training.
Okay, so that kind of answered my next question, but I'm going to fill in with a different one. If they are looking, some of our TMs listen to our podcast, so I want to kind of include them in this. If our TMs or our contractors are looking for that training, where can they go to find out what the schedule is?
I mean, they can email me, pick up the phone and call. That's the easiest thing to do.
That's a good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you had a chance to influence building codes or HVAC design standards, what changes would you push in terms of IAQ requirements?
I think the best thing that they could do if it was new construction is make sure that every single unit gets a 4-inch wide filler. You can put a 1-inch filter in there if you want to be cheap and you don't want to spend the money on the initial installation. But if you put that sleeve, the little 1-inch or the 4-inch filler in there, when you come back to talk to the customer, you can upgrade to a media air cleaner just by taking that piece out and sliding it in. If you don't do that, then you got to tear apart everything.
Yeah.
And it becomes a much bigger and costlier deal when it wouldn't take much of anything. I've talked to a couple of manufacturers about giving us those to give to our contractors to put in, and then when they bring them back to buy an air cleaner, we give them a credit for bringing that unit back to us, that filler piece.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah, so we could kind of promote that. But better filtration and ventilation are probably the two most important things. Dilution is the solution to your pollution.
Yeah.
And now that you have MERV 13, and in some cases you can get MERV 16, you can actually trap the virus in the filter material. So.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. I did not know that.
Yep.
I like that. And just putting that little knowledge nugget in there for later. Can you share a success story from a contractor who really embraced IAQ and saw it change their business?
I could, but they'd probably get upset about it because they don't want you to tell all of their secrets. But
Okay.
I would say, to put it into perspective that you can probably get an idea. If you sold one dehumidifier a week, you'd add 200,000 plus to your year. Okay.
And if you are like us and you're in the South, that dehumidifier is going to be worth its weight in gold.
Right. And same thing with air cleaners. Sell one a week, 50,000 a
Yeah.
year, and then you have that residual filter business that goes with it, $50-$60 a piece. So that's the first year you're selling 50 replacement filters. The second year, then it's 100, then it's 150, then it's 200.
Yeah, it just compounds. Yeah.
It's, as they call it, the little ATM. But yeah, that's where I would go with it. I mean, everything else they should do it all, but they're not going to. But if you could influence it, would be better filtration and better ventilation.
I like that.
what is one IAQ myth or misconception that you still run into regularly, and how do you explain the truth in a way that resonates?
That UV doesn't work, that it's too expensive. And the only thing that is not expensive once you install it is ionization, because we sell self-cleaning, so you don't have to do anything to it. But anything else you install has to have something. It has to have a stick light on a coil has to have a bulb replacement. A PCO still has to have a bulb replacement. So UV has bulb replacement as well, but UV is the one thing, like we were talking about earlier, that the science is there that you can, over 100 years it's been used, so you know exactly what it takes to get rid of any particular thing you're trying to get rid of. So you can take that right down to an exact formula, where some of this other stuff you can't. And people just look at it and go, "Oh, well, I'm not going to do a UV because every 3 years they're going to have to replace the bulbs, and it's going to be a constant expense." But 99% of people don't replace the bulbs anyway.
Also, what an opportunity for you to get a PM contract so that you can check that bulb and
Yep.
then sell them a new bulb once every 3 years.
There was a couple of manufacturers that were at one point were giving you index cards that you could have the people fill out, basically postcards, And you would send it in to them, and the manufacturer would ping the homeowner to get the bulb replaced.
Oh, see, that's brilliant. See, I like that. And that's like, I mean, with all automation we have these days, that is like a no-brainer.
Right.
So if you could give one piece of advice to homeowners who think, my hair's fine, I don't need any of this stuff, what would you tell them?
Find a contractor with equipment that can measure the air quality. And
Or
just do that.
I mean, even if you're curious enough, I think you can get some of these products on
You
Amazon.
go to Amazon, you can get a basic one that will look at VOCs, that will look at particulate, that will look at temperature, humidity, and you can buy them for $100.
Yeah.
Drop it on the kitchen table and let it run, and just take a look. I mean, it'll go up and down all day long, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have noticed. I have some standalone, you know, the air purifiers that you got for me. And I can definitely tell, especially when we cook, it's set to auto right now, so it kind of ramps up when it sees, you know, when it detects that the air is very dirty. And definitely, it's a little higher sometimes than I like for it to be.
Right.
It definitely is like an audible, noticeable thing of like, oh, hey, my air is not really that good right now. So.
Yeah.
Do you notice
Sure.
a difference once it's run a little bit?
I will say yes. Okay, so I'll tell you this. I've noticed this. So about this time last year, we went to dinner with the neighbors, and I think I had unplugged it. There was some reason I had turned it off. Either I had turned it off on accident, or I needed to replace the filter and hadn't done so yet. There was a reason it was off. And I remember walking into the house after coming home from dinner and thinking, ew, it kind of smells like a new construction home. It was like this concrete kind of smell. And I was like, oh, I don't like that. Like, I just felt like even though our house is older, like 5-6 years old, it just felt like there was still some of that like remnant smell of new construction. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I don't know what that is, but I'm very diligent. I've already replaced one of the UV bulbs in one of them. I have one upstairs and one downstairs. And I've already replaced the filters several times on both of them. And I know you probably think I'm crazy because I buy like the HEPA filter, like everything to replace when their filter light goes off every 6 months. And it's not cheap, but I just enjoy, like, I just appreciate the fact of knowing that my air is clean. And I will say too that I got these after, so all 3 of the members of my household got the flu in 23, 24, like right around the new year kind of thing. And knock on wood, my son brought home a stomach bug at the beginning of the school year this year, and it didn't spread. So I do kind of feel like it is like helping mitigate the germs, and I have a new baby at home, so that's kind of important to me. But I do feel like it is helping to keep us healthier. I would say yes, absolutely. So just in case you have school-age children or someone who's immunocompromised or anything like that, 100,000% worth getting your air tested and having some solutions added to your home, whether it's a standalone unit or something that they add to your unit upstairs in the attic, that kind of thing. I 100%. I'm a believer in IAQ. That house we used to live in had an ionizer when COVID was a big thing, and I 100% believe in all that stuff. So, as a consumer, that's my that is my unsolicited opinion.
I'm skeptical. I'm just joking, Bob.
There's always one skeptic.
All right, so for our ender, I have some true or false facts for you guys. So I'm going to read you something, and you're going to tell me if you think it's true or false.
Okay, are these related to IAQ?
No.
Okay, good. I was going to say Bob is going to whip me at this.
I knew Bob was going to be too smart. He's going to laugh at my questions if I did IAQ. Okay, sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. True or false?
True.
False.
It's true. 3-toed sloths can hold their breath underwater for up to 40 minutes, thanks to a slow metabolism and the ability to reduce their heart rate to 1/3 of normal rate.
I had this feeling it had something to do with how slow. I mean,
Yeah.
It probably takes him so long just to take one breath anyway, so.
All right, true or false? The Eiffel Tower can grow up to 6 inches taller during the summer.
I'd say that's true.
I would say it's true, too.
It is true. because the iron lattice expands in the heat. All right, true or false? Carrots were originally purple.
True.
I know there's purple carrots, so I'll say false.
Well, it's true with nuance. So wild carrots were purple or white, and the orange carrot was selectively bred in the Netherlands in the 16th or 17th century to honor William of Orange.
Okay.
So you got a carrot named after you? Is that what that's all about?
That's hilarious. I want a vegetable or fruit named after me.
Yeah.
All right, penguins have knees. True or false?
False. They waddle.
No, it's true.
They really do?
Mhm.
Bad
Do they
knees.
bend?
They have
The
fully
bad knees.
functional. They have fully functional knees hidden inside their bodies, covered by feathers. The backward bending joint you see is actually their ankle. X-rays show clear knee joints.
They seem kind of useless, if you ask me.
All right, true or false? You can see the Great Wall of China from space with the naked eye.
False.
I'd say it's true.
It's false.
All right, so I probably couldn't see it even if I was up close. So
Yeah, it says it's a persistent myth that NASA astronauts and Chinese astronaut Yang Liwei have confirmed that the wall is not visible from low Earth orbit without aid. All right, true or false? Butterflies taste with their feet.
True.
I don't know.
It's true, but Bob's confidence has been shaken by.
I don't know why I feel like I've heard that fact before. I can't remember.
Yeah, they have chemoreceptors on their feet, and when they land on a plant, they can taste it to determine if it's suitable for laying eggs.
It's a good thing we don't have that. Imagine tasting what you're walking
Ew.
on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, the average person swallows 8 spiders per year while sleeping.
I don't think it's 8.
I really don't
would
want to
say
even
false.
know. Ignorance is bliss for this. I cannot imagine swallowing a spider.
It is false.
It's false?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just an urban legend that was printed, that originated in a 1993 magazine article as an
Okay.
example of how easily false information spreads online. Spiders avoid sleeping humans, and no scientific study supports this number.
Okay. That's what I needed today. That is what I needed about that fact.
All right, if you cut a worm in half, both halves grow into new worms.
False.
True.
It's partially true. So some species can regenerate both halves. Most earthworms can regrow a head or tail, but not both halves into complete worms. Cutting a common garden earthworm usually results in one survivor, not 2.
Okay. I think I was wrong on that one.
All right, last one. The inventor of the Pringles can is buried in one.
Is buried in one. Oh, it's probably
I feel like
true.
I know. I feel like that's true too. That one's too wacky for it to be false.
It's true. Frederick Bauer, who designed the iconic tubular Pringles can in 1966, requested that part of his ashes be buried in a Pringles can. His children honored his wish in 2008. Some ashes went into an original flavored can and the rest in an urn. Bob, if you were going to be buried in a Pringles can, what flavor?
Oh, man. I'd have to be original.
Okay, this is hard because, we've talked about this before on the show, how I don't really eat a
Oh my
lot of
God,
like
she's-
little kid food because I feel like I can taste the chemicals.
Didn't you eat Pringles when you were a child?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, it would probably be pizza. If it was going to be, it would probably be the pizza flavor.
I would do barbecue.
Barbecue? Okay, let me ask you, do you still eat Pringles?
Absolutely.
Okay, wait, I have another one. I have another random one.
Okay.
Gushers. Can you still eat Gushers?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're so
Bob, do you eat
bad.
Gushers?
Yeah, no, they're
Never ate
so
Gushers.
bad. We should do that. On the next episode, I'm going to bring Gushers for everyone. I'll suffer and maybe
They're
eat some with
so
y'all.
good. I love anything with artificial flavors.
I can't do it.
I prefer it, actually.
Well, Bob, thanks for coming back on with us. It's
Thanks for
always a
having me.
treat.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
That's all for today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.